Today I'm installing stealth latches on the tailgate. Well, I already removed this inner part of this latch. Just need to get this outer part out. And there's just a tack weld on top and bottom right here. And then inside here, it's been spot welded. So I'm gonna try to just grind those two tack welds loose in here. And then these spot welds, I'll just carefully grind into this area. Try not to grind into the edge of the tailgate, but I'll grind into this and cut that out without really messing everything up too bad. All right, so I have these little pieces cut out to go in this gap where the latch used to set. So I got them cut out. We'll get them put in, welded in, cleaned up. I'll have to trim off that edge a little bit. And need to set the gap here some too. I'm not too worried about that right at this moment. And then after we get these taken care of on both sides, we'll start on the latches. I got these plugged off. So what I need to do now is install these awesome Hideaway latches. They're spring loaded and they'll fit down inside the top of this bed here, or this tailgate. And it's going to take a little figuring, something I'm concerned with. So So these need to be out, sticking out about like that, so there's enough pins sticking out to penetrate into this area here. Because with this closed, if I get it out there flush with the edge of this tailgate, looks like there'll be enough pin engagement. So we'll need to do that. But here's my concern. And it's not a big one. It's not really addressed for these tailgates. These are pretty much universal. They're a great design. But with this style of tailgate, there's one little thing that you need to be aware of. I'll bring in here. So inside this edge of this tailgate here, it's double thickness. It's got a plate in here and then the outer skin. So if I stick that, the concept is you drill a hole through here, 5/8 hole. That's 5/8. You take these out. You have an empty barrel like this that'll slide in that hole. You need to drill out a hole for this screw. This is the one that actually holds it in place along with the hole that you drill here. It's a tight fit. Then you drill 2 more holes and then you cut out that center spot for the slot. Pretty easy deal. Well, here are some of the tools you'll need for that installation. You'll definitely want center punch and a hammer. Scribe is pretty handy. This kit here, you'll need a 3/16 hole for the a mounting screw. Then you'll need a 5/16 for the slide lock where that slots. Then you'll need a 5/8 bit for the whole barrel of the latch itself. You'll need a 7/16 for the pin that goes into the bedside. You'll need a number 3 Allen wrench for that mounting screw for that. And then a file is pretty handy to file out that slot to smooth that up. I also pulled out the Dremel just to cut out, because you drill 2 holes and then you need to cut the material out between those 2 holes to make that slot for that slide. That'll be pretty handy. Of course, you need a drill and some form of measurement in your bits. Also, I'm sure some of the kits vary. I think there's different manufacturers. So some of these holes, you might want to check your bits out before you get started to make sure you're drilling the right size hole for the hardware that you have. When I was looking it up, there were several different brands, different companies. They all basically look the same, but just verify before you start drilling holes that you got the right tools for the job. So I'm just gonna set that pin, try to hold it in place and let that sit out just enough to scribe a mark in here where I want it. Get my center punch in there. Give it a little whack. I'll go ahead and use this 3/16 hole to drill a pilot hole. that located my holes. I don't know if you really got to see what I was doing. Just using a simple compass. And that way I could get my measurement using the hard part. Whoops, my pencil slipped out. So all I'm doing is taking a measurement from the outside here of the barrel into where that hole should be. There should be a hole drilled here, a hole drilled here. So I'm just marking that one. And then the next one, just give that a little squeeze, mark that, scribe it, and then go out and catch that one. Set that up, and then scribe it. And then I did the same for the distance here with this in here. I could see where that screw hole is. I don't know if you can see that. That screw hole, I just kind of lined it up top and then set this to do the same thing and just scribed a line along there with that pencil. And it's not a super obvious set of marks there, but enough where I could see them. Guess you can see. Yeah. That's the hole for the mounting pin. And the hole for the slide. And number 2 hole for the slide. And I'll get those drilled out. Whoa. Careful not to slam that through and dent the other side of your tailgate. Okay, and then these 2 holes right here, we'll have to slot out this area between them so we can have my slide. Hey, Zach. My boy Zach just showed up to slow me down. I'm just kidding.
Those holes aren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, they're perfect, evenly spaced.
That middle one doesn't look.
Oh, you don't like that? I don't think it is. So anyhow, I'll set this in here. Kind of test fit it. Make sure it's all going to line up right. Basically, it's just that simple. My concern is that barrel going to be obviously crooked? And no, it's not. But I think we're fine. So I can take that back out, and then basically I'll just cut this straight across here, so that my slide mechanism will work. May have to fine tune that slide hole a little bit. Feels like it's dragging. Maybe polish up the innards here, a little grease. I won't do any grease until after I paint. But yeah, that's one. Get the other one in. Okay, so got the latches in, both sides here. So what we'll do is we'll bring it up gently, and I'll open both of these latches up, close it in here where it needs to be, and then I'll snap that a couple of times on each side. And it should put a little divot in here where you can see on both sides. That's where I'll have to drill. I thought I'd leave a little bit more of a center punch divot, but we'll smack it. I'll smack that with the center punch to make sure my drill bit doesn't wobble all over the place. All right, got it all installed. It's fairly easy. The only little concern I have is that rubber grommet, the way it fits in the hole that I put in this cap, or in this bed rail. Might have to go a little bit larger hole. It's double thickness on this piece here, so that rubber grommet's acting just a little funny. It's in there, it's latched, both sides. And it doesn't rattle, which is really nice. And so all we're doing is, Zach, will you man that knob over there? So all we got is rubber mounted grommet in both sides. And the only thing you need to be aware of is see where that pin hits there. When you go to close this, you need to not forget about that pin sticking out, because if you got a really nice paint job and you slam that up there, you're going to chip it. So just remember, when you go to close it, you'll have to pull in these tabs and then shut it. And she's latched. Well, we got this step of the project all finished up. I got the latches installed. Had to finish capping off the ends here with the latch. The old striker used to come in and latch. Got that done. And I'm really happy with how these work. Pretty nice. But I'm really happy with it. It wasn't that expensive. It didn't take that long. It was just a few hours to install. And I think guy could install these into a finished pickup without boogering the paint up too bad, which is kind of nice. I polished up one side with a little air grinder. It wasn't really necessary. If you kind of deburred it, then it'd be just fine. But all in all, it's a good deal. I like it. So anyhow, I hope this is helpful. It's something I think anybody can do. Just take your time, plan it out, draw it out, sketch it out on your tailgate before you do it. Just try to make sure you research that a little bit before you tear into it, and I think you could do it real easy. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.